Austin Long, co-founder of Youtooz. Thank you so much for joining me here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, Youtooz is super popular, and it's been growing really fast. It seems over the last several years. For those that maybe aren't familiar with Youtooz, how would you describe your company and kind of what you're about in this collectibles market where there's all these different companies out there?
For sure. Yes, we launched in 2019, and our goal and ethos has really been to capture what people love on the internet and to bring joy to them around their desk, their shelf, their gaming setup, whatever it might be. So we try to specialize in focus on the most is finding those memorable characters, memes, moments online, whether it's a content creator, a video game, an anime, a movie, but finding those kind of key moments that really bring fans joy and make them remember those characters. And then we capture that in collectible form. So whether that's a vinyl figure, a plushie, or some of our other product lines, we really want to bring joy to people, and that's our core focus.
That's awesome. And how many figures do you guys have now?
Okay, we probably over 1,500 unique ones, I would say. We
Wow.
design about 400 or so a year. And that's kind of our average now. We don't really envision changing that too much as we kind of like the bandwidth that we currently have. We like our current release schedule. So yeah, probably over 1,500 in totality, and all of them are limited edition lines. So I would say most of them are sold out, especially ones from many years ago.
So when you say limited edition, they're never reproduced or put out again. It's just like that's it. As soon as supplies are out, that's it.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, what we saw fans asking for in collectibles was really that more designer, high-end, limited edition nature. So not doing hundreds of thousands of units, but doing stuff that felt a bit more special and limited, keeping it specific, for the fans. So if something does really well, we'd rather just make a new version and make it even better versus trying to keep offer the same thing. And we feel that also kind of separates us from a lot of the other companies in the space that have products that will be available for 10 years or something, which obviously for a collector is ideal.
Cool. Well, I have a couple right here. These Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Youtooz, which the detail is really amazing. So these are my first two, Austin. My first two Youtooz. I tend to collect a different brand, as you may know, but I didn't know about Youtooz. And so, I mean, if you look at the detail on these things, it's a really hefty, nice size. And I'm super excited and happy about these. Like, these are awesome. These are really
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah. I would say what really separates, especially our vinyls, is that every single figure is a unique mold. So we don't kind of find the opportunity to cut corners where we can by reusing molds. Every single figure is a new one. It's obviously more expensive to do that, and it's more time intense. But we feel that it brings the characters to life in a more unique way, so that if we do make another Donatello or Michelangelo or Turtles, each one is unique. It's a different moment.
Yeah, which I hope you do.
Yeah, of course.
I hope you do make more turtles. Cool, man. That's awesome. So you mentioned the vinyls. So you have different lines, right? There's multiple options for folks. What are those?
Yeah, so vinyls is definitely our bread and butter. That's what we launched with first in 2019. Our tentpole line is our 5-inch figures. So it's the ones you have there, all the ones that you kind of see behind me here. We've recently also launched an 8-inch line. So that's the sun and moon that you see here. And we've done a few 12-inch figures too. Trying to get my finger in the right spot. So you have some 12-inch ones as well. And then we also have a diorama line, which is mostly for comic books. So that's like the Spider-Man one that you see here, where we try to bring to life those covers in a unique way. And then outside of our vinyls, plushies is kind of our second biggest product line. We launched that about a year and a half or so after Youtooz started. Plushies, I would say mostly more animals, creatures, cute characters. Vinyl figures, you can kind of make anything, but not everything lends itself as well to a plushie. And I would say we find that there's kind of a nice, split of some fans just want vinyl, some just want plushies, and some want both if it's a character and it's a franchise they really care about. So we like offering kind of all that variety. And then we've played around with a few other lines. We've made device holders that hold, controllers and switches and phones. We've made a few different plush formats, like beanies and stuff like that. But I would say really vinyls and plush is what we're most known for.
And I see that really big, the meme frog back
there. Oh, yeah,
Pepe. Is that Pepe? Yeah, that's awesome. How big is that?
That was 2 foot. So that's the only 2 foot figure we've ever made. We made that, I want to say, towards the end of 2019. I can't remember the exact date, but I want to say we only made like a couple hundred of them.
Oh, wow.
And it was just a learning lesson that when you make something that big and that dense and also that fragile, shipping is a monster. So at that time, we were shipping them globally, and I mean, some of the shipments cost more to ship than the actual product itself. So
Right.
We haven't done another 2-foot since. Even 1-foot figures we found can be challenging because at least direct to consumer, which is our main mode of getting products to fans, we try to offer global shipping wherever we can, and especially post COVID, it became a lot more challenging with bigger items.
Yeah.
So 8-inch is kind of our new way to test out more formats without necessarily limiting who it's accessible to.
That's really awesome that you have so many different. I didn't even realize that you had so many different sizes that you could go for, and that's really neat. What would you say you're most proud of with everything that Youtooz has done? So with the thousands of different characters and the different lines and how popular it's become, what are you most proud of?
I would say, like, generally, I'm definitely most proud that we've added a freshness and newness to collecting. I think there was definitely stagnation in kind of the offering from, the bigger toy companies that, at least in our opinion, we're very used to making stuff that might make money and it might be a great product and it might move a lot of volume, but it might not be actually the best thing for fans. So I think what we're proud of is that we have made a product format that's unique. We have a design that's unique. We have a character style, kind of the more chibi. Obviously, our crescent eyes is our trademark. So I'm definitely proud of that. But in terms of specific lines, we've been able, thankfully, to work with a lot of great studios, whether gaming or more content oriented. And then for creators, outside of a couple, which are definitely still on our hit list, we've been able to work with Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Matt Pat, Dan TDM, Pokimane, like all these great names in both gaming and just general entertainment. And usually, as a company, you might get a chance to work with a couple over, the life cycle of a company, but we've been able to work with, all the kind of creators that, especially I grew up watching. So that's been awesome too.
That's awesome. And what do you have a favorite Youtooz figure that you've created, that you've made?
Yeah, it's hard to pick one. I guess it's probably, I don't have children, but it's like having children where it's like, you can't just pick one. I would say the first
you
one.
Can, though. You absolutely can't. You absolutely can.
True. The first time we did Breaking Bad, we got to make Jesse Pinkman, and it was just a personal favorite of mine because I loved watching that series. And by the time we started working with them, the show was already done. But we've now worked with Vince and the team there for pretty much going on 4 or 5 years now, like since we started the company, and able to make new lines. But I definitely like that Jesse one just because I love the fly scene during the series.
Oh, that's awesome. So what would you say are current projects and licenses that you have coming out in like 2025 that you're willing to talk about or share, or any kind of new projects that you might have going on?
Yeah, I would say in terms of newness, Warner Brothers was probably our biggest partnership this year that we signed. We had been chatting with them basically since 2021, so it had been a few years, and we finally got to the finish line. So next year we'll be rolling out lines for a lot of the DC Comics characters, Batman, Superman, the Joker, a lot of the retro and kind of classic either Cartoon Network or Adult Swim shows, which we know, at least for our community, is big, that nostalgia of shows that people watched in the early 2000s, even a little later. And then also just some of like the characters, like Looney Tunes characters, Bugs Bunny, stuff like that, we're definitely excited for. So Warner Brothers would be a big one for us next year. And then we've also been pushing a lot more into horror. We started with Ghostface, and our fans really liked it. I think horror has gone from something that was maybe only an October thing to really a year-round thing for fans of the genre. So next year we'll be unveiling Beetlejuice, It, Megan, alongside a few that we haven't teased yet. So we're really excited to expand more into that. And then I would say lastly is just more and more video games. That continues to be our bread and butter and where we kind of find the most crossover with what our collectors want. And there's a number of new gaming properties that we brought on that we haven't fully teased yet or announced, but we will be soon. And I would say those will be really exciting for fans moving into 2025.
Cool. It's so easy to see the Youtooz look on like the Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes characters, and so that's awesome. I'm looking forward to that. And then I thought I saw something about that you had vending machines now too.
Yeah, we launched our first at the Sherman Oaks Westfield in Los Angeles, and that did really well for us. So we have a partnership with Westfield where we'll slowly bring them to more locations. It does take time. We have to make each one. We have to ship it there. We have to set it up. And our team does all the servicing. So it's not as though we just set it up and forget it. You know, we have to keep it updated, keep it stocked. We had the first one at the Sherman Oaks Westfield. It's called the Fashion Square Westfield. The second one just launched at the AMC Century City. So that's our first movie theater location, and AMC has been an awesome partner. They equally want to scale up with us to offer more next year. So we're also excited to do that. We feel that, especially in a movie going environment, it's perfect. Whether you're, waiting to see a film or you just saw one and you're on the way out, we'll be offering like Deadpool and John Wick and Turtles and South Park, along with maybe exclusives around some of the films. So we're excited for that too. And then we're slowly introducing them to a convention audience. We had one at TwitchCon this year, which was in San Diego, which was a big hit. We're now planning next year to maybe have some at Comic-Con events or like Anime Expo, other convention related.
Yeah, I can totally imagine coming out of the theater and super pumped about a new movie you just saw, and they're like, well, wait, look, there's the character right there. I can just buy it and bring it home with me. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited for those, and we just actually finished. So we haven't announced it yet, but soon we'll also have voice commands coming out of them. So we've commissioned a lot of the voice actors and actresses of certain characters. So when you buy a figure related to that franchise, soon there'll be a custom voice line that comes out from the actual person voicing that character. So we're excited to keep playing around with that too.
It's really cool to see the innovation and the creativity that you guys bring to the table, and you're always looking to do something new and different in a fun way, which is awesome.
Thank you.
So and now I don't know if you're able to share anything about this, but I wanted to mention this. I did see a video, I think it was on Instagram, where you and Nathan Mosry of Iggy's World, the Iggy's app, were kind of teasing something, and you were kind of alluding to something, and then it wasn't quite. Are you able to share anything about that partnership, or keep it as a tease?
Yeah, it's definitely more of a tease right now. But what I can say is we're very excited about location-based entertainment, especially starting to do conventions, seeing the reaction to the vending machine. We've had partners do a few pop-ups over the years, mostly regionally. Like we have a distributor in Japan that does pop-ups for some of the video games we work on, and we're trying that in other regions. But yeah, with Nathan, we're looking at a location-based opportunity that we're planning. It'll probably be many years out, but we think it'll be equally exciting for our fans, that are in those locations, obviously, to go and check them out. So I'm sure he'll be speaking to it more soon, but it is a location-based entertainment project.
And do you think we will see Youtooz on the Iggy's app to be able to purchase?
Yeah, that's something that we're also chatting with Nathan about. We're always trying to make it easier for fans to collect our products. We're primarily online, so obviously you have to wait for them to ship. So offering more ways for people to get them locally, whether it's in specialty retailers, vending machines, pop-ups, or other apps and services, is something really high on our to-do list, especially in regions that might be harder to get products to. Like we're looking a lot at Latin America, especially Brazil, just because it's been challenging for us to ship there. So regionally, it's definitely on our roadmap, for the next couple of years to try to offer better and more unique ways to offer products to people.
Well, Austin, thank you so much for taking some time to join me and chat about Youtooz. And it's really amazing what you guys are doing, and it's cool to see what you guys got coming out next year and in the near future.
Of course, Paul. Thank you for having me. It was great chatting.